Hey everybody, it's Mike COOCH and Josh Clifford. Welcome to our very first Growth Insiders training and Q&A call. Appreciate you for being here. And if you could let me know that you can hear me okay and you should be able to see Growth Insiders slide training and Q&A call 6/16/2016. If you could let me know that you can hear me and you can see that okay, I'd appreciate it. And then we will get rolling right away. Let me know where you're coming from as well. We are here in our office in beautiful San Diego. Awesome. Thank you, Harold. And it is warming up out here. We have, for those of you not familiar with San Diego, we have May gray and June gloom. It's actually the two kind of cloudiest, coolest months of the year here. And visitors oftentimes get surprised because they come out here in June, kind of start of summer and can run into cloudy weather all the time. And we've actually had quite a bit of that here for the last month and a half or so, but we are now starting off a very sunny, warm, and actually I'd say hot streak here in the next week. It's supposed to get up to the end of the 90s, and so we're going to be cooking. But we'll take some sunshine. Pretty happy for it. So Harold's coming from the Netherlands. Awesome. Thank you for joining us. I just got back from Spain myself yesterday, so probably in more of your time zone still in terms of how I'm operating than the Pacific time zone that I'm in, but we'll get that sorted out. All right. Looks like everything's working well. Thank you. Let's go ahead and get rolling here. Oh, let me go ahead and promote Josh here. All right, there we go. Okay, so agenda for the day here. We are going to cover Growth Insiders. What is Growth Insiders? Just kind of a general welcome here since we're on our first call. And then we're going to talk all about video here today, since that is the focus of the content that most of you have come in here for, and we'll be focused on in terms of the new content creation that we're doing inside of the membership area here in the coming weeks. So let's start off with just Growth Insiders. Welcome to Growth Insiders, and what is Growth Insiders? So first of all, we're happy to have you here. Thank you very much for being a part of it. And what is Growth Insiders? So Growth Insiders is a community and an ongoing learning environment where we're going to be focused on strategies for growth, covering major areas across the business. So not necessarily just marketing, not necessarily just sales, but what we found is that in order to achieve growth at your business, there's a bunch of stuff that needs to be in alignment, across the business in order to support growth. So we will be covering, different areas of the business as well. Now, our focus in this program will be primarily on the sales and marketing side of things, but we're going to go into some pretty good content on how you actually develop a growth strategy for your business, some key operational things that we've learned to achieve fast growth at your business, some financing things over the long term. So we're going to cover what we think is most important for fast growth across the various areas of the business, because what we found is that if you have, let's say, your marketing really on fire, and able to produce new customers at a breakneck pace, but you don't have other areas of your business, let's say your shipping and fulfillment, if it's an e-commerce business, set up to adequately support that growth, then all of a sudden everything can come to a screeching halt, and maybe even can be a disaster because you can create a poor customer experience. So you've got to be thinking across your business, and this is something that Josh and I have a lot of experience in growing some businesses very quickly, and also something that we just have a lot of fun with in terms of really researching and understanding how to apply various strategies and tactics effectively across the business to achieve that growth. So content-wise, you'll see some breadth there, but we'll also go very deep on the marketing and the sales side, and I expect that that's where most of our content will come from. Well, then, in addition to kind of strategy level content, this obviously it will have a lot of tactical execution as well. So you've already seen that in the content that we're creating for you on the video marketing side of things. As a strategy, we believe that it's critical that we're all using video right now in our business, but tactically, how do you do that, right? This will not be just a theoretical environment. This will be a very practical, very hands-on environment where we'll be sharing with you, things that we're doing, what's working for us, what isn't, and as well as bringing in, guest experts in areas that we are not experts or are not focused on right now. And in terms of how this content will get to you, the idea is that we'll do a lot of kind of micro updates of content. What's working now, what isn't working now, what have we tested and tried, and what were those results. And there's a reason why we're doing that I think is real important that everybody should understand. One of the, core problems that we're trying to solve with Growth Insiders is that we believe that there's a big gap right now in the marketplace for how, we're kind of learning as entrepreneurs and marketers, and that is right now that primarily all of the training and education that's being produced is being produced in the form of courses that you make a one-time purchase of a course, and then oftentimes, as I'm sure you've experienced, then there's not really good support about, from the creators of that course. There's no updates to that course, and by the time you've purchased it, you can almost feel like it's outdated, and then you're stuck. And we've been on the production side of that. We have been producers of content that you put all kinds of effort into creating that content, and then 30 days after you create it, you're like, oh, I really should go back and create updates for that content, but the reality is, I'm not planning on selling that course again anytime soon in any volume, and so it's hard to have an economic justification to go back and keep that course really up to date. So that creates problems on both sides of the equation. It creates problems for us in that we're not keeping our content as fresh and relevant as we should be to create the best experience for our customers, and then it creates problems for our customers in that they're getting content that may not have the support that they feel like is necessary or may not be being kept up to date as well, and they're having to make a buying decision every time they want to learn something new. So the model behind Growth Insiders, we want to try and solve those problems by having this ongoing learning environment where we're focused on these core areas that we will be keeping up to date. We will be doing continuous micro updates based on what we're learning, and we will be providing lots of hands-on support and community in the form of these calls in our Facebook group to make sure that you guys are really supported and kept up to date with the content that we've created for you. So that's really what Growth Insiders is all about. It is absolutely going to be something that is evolving, so we appreciate your patience with that, and we also appreciate your feedback on that. You will see right now what we're starting to do is we're starting to take a lot of content that we have created over the years, and we are starting to take core pieces of that and put it into the Growth Insiders training area. And the reason that we are choosing the content that we are choosing and putting it in there is because we believe it's really foundational content that can be used, should be used by the majority of our members, no matter what business you're in, no matter what stage of business you're in. Everybody should have a systematic sales process for their business. And we've done a lot of work on creating systematic sales processes. So we are taking that content and we're putting it in the Growth Insiders, and over time we will continue to develop and evolve that content on on developing and executing systematic sales processes. So you will see content coming in at a pretty quick pace in these different areas of the business, we will be doing some organization and reorganization of that, as we go along, and again, kind of feedback on that will be welcome as we're doing that. Yeah, and Josh was just making the point to me, we're going to do our very best at all times to share with you, the things, the tools, the processes that we use ourselves every day at our businesses, whether that's our, e-commerce business, information publishing, affiliate, marketing, things that we're doing in local marketing. We're going to take the best tools and processes that we're using. We're going to share them with you in this program. So again, we appreciate you being here, and as I said, it is we'll be absolutely evolving, and your feedback on what's most helpful to you and how to get the most out of the content, the most out of our team's support of that content is absolutely welcome. So moving on here to what we're going to cover today in terms of training content. So again, today is all about video, and I just want to talk a little bit here briefly about video strategy and why I think it's so critical that we all have a strategy incorporating video for our business. Really, no matter what business you're in, it's pretty hard to make an argument these days that you don't need a video strategy. And then we'll get into some of the more tactical things on video creation, optimizing YouTube channel, setting up and optimizing YouTube channel, and video ranking. And then I'll just touch on a little bit on where we're going with additional content here in the coming weeks, and then leave it open to Q&A, which we want to leave plenty of time for that for all of you. So diving into video strategy, I saw this article pop up. Was it just yesterday? Yeah, 15th of June. I think I was actually on my plane back from Spain and was able briefly to get a decent internet connection on the flight, and saw this article saying that VP at Facebook saying that Facebook may be all video within the next 5 years. Okay, Facebook may be all video within the next 5 years. That's an incredible statement, considering that it's really just in the last year that Facebook has really started making a push into video. I saw a stat, I think, related to this article saying that a year ago, there was, or less than a year ago, there was about 1 billion, I think it was 1 billion, oh man, I can't remember the exact statistic, but it was 1 billion, I think it was daily views of video on Facebook, and now, less than a year later, it's up over 8 billion. So they've had just absolutely, ridiculous growth when it comes to video here over the last year, and they are not predicting that to slow down anytime soon. If anything, they're predicting that that is going to accelerate. They've actually said that the liftoff that they've had from their live video streaming has been much faster than even they were anticipating. And they expect that that's just going to be a major game-changing product in news and entertainment and self-publishing here, and just communication in general here in the coming years. And I believe it. I mean, when you look at what's happening right now with those Facebook Live videos and how easy it is for each and every one of us to essentially become our own TV channel, it really is just incredible. And, as we've said in the content, related to video here in the program, there's a reason why this is the case, right? Video content is just much more engaging, typically, for most people than an article is. Okay, watching a video, seeing the interaction of it, having sound to it, all those things, most people get a lot more out of that than they do just reading an article. Not in all cases, and I doubt that Facebook, honestly, will be all video in 5 years. I think that there's always going to be a place for articles. There's always going to be a place, for these different formats. But you can absolutely see that the far majority of people prefer to consume the majority of their content via video. It's just more engaging. It's more entertaining. and it stimulates more of the senses, right? And ultimately, people are generally pretty lazy about the content that they consume. If they can get it in the form of video and have more senses stimulated and it's easier, they don't have to read the written word, they're going to choose that. And that's been proving itself here in the last couple of years. So if Facebook is that aggressive on video, you can bet that you had better be really aggressive on video as well. Okay, the battle for video is really just heating up. Facebook has passed YouTube now in terms of minutes of videos consumed. So that's a huge. You can bet that everybody over at YouTube and Google right now are absolutely scrambling to figure out what do we do to try and retake our dominant position in video, because they've held such a dominant position and it's been such an incredible engine for them economically and growth-wise over the last 5 years. And now Facebook just all of a sudden comes along and within a year of focus on video has now passed them in consumption of video. And when you think about it, think about all the areas that Facebook has not even touched on yet when it comes to video, right? Facebook is not really a video search engine yet like YouTube is. It's not really a place for you to go and develop a channel where you can share, your videos with other people easily. There are some of those features and capabilities there, but it's not fully developed like YouTube is yet in that way. And so you can see that, with just a few additional developments, Facebook could really start to crush YouTube in a lot of ways. In addition, they beat them to the punch with this Facebook Live, right? That's something that YouTube has been talking about for some time now, and they clearly have their own plans around that. But really, Facebook beat them to the punch and was able to roll out a really good product to the marketplace quickly, and now has very fast adoption of this technology where YouTube is now going to have to play catch up. So this is a very, very heated battle. It's only going to get more heated in the coming months. Amazon has already announced that they are starting their YouTube competitor as well, and you can bet that Amazon will have live video capability very similar to Facebook here. So this battle is really just getting started. We're in the early days of it. That creates so many incredible opportunities for us. And whether or not you're looking at marketing strategies for your business, or you're looking at it for your client's business, and whether it's e-commerce or it's information publishing or services, it doesn't matter what it is. You absolutely must have a video strategy for your business going forward. I really do believe that if you don't, you are going to get left behind. There are going to be very real-world practical advantages to those of us who know how to create and take advantage of marketing a video. Okay, just as a simple example of that is, let's say that I want to go and create retargeting audiences to drive my ads to. Well, right now there is no faster or cheaper way to create good quality retargeting audiences than video. So if I'm putting out good engaging videos and I'm building retargeting audiences off of that, and you're putting out an article and building a retargeting audience, my video is going to build that audience more quickly and more cheaply. So it's going to give me a size advantage and a cost advantage if I'm competing head on with you in the marketplace. So, things like that are very real world practical implications of having video or not having video. And as I said, I believe you absolutely must have a video strategy. Right now, we're focused on it. You should be focused on it. And that's what this content here over the 30 days is going to be all about. That's just, touching at a high level, strategy-wise, why we think it's so important, and just kind of some evidence of why it is important. And certainly we can discuss that and answer any questions you have about that here during our Q&A. So video creation is the first step of being able to take advantage of video in your business, right? And this, in my experience, from talking to people, this is what stops most people from taking advantage of video's power, right? Is that there is this creation process that's required, whether or not you're creating the videos, as a talking head in front of a camera, or you're creating screen share videos, or you're having somebody else create the videos for you, whatever it is, there is a process there that most people consider to be either time-consuming or expensive or intimidating, whatever it is that's preventing them, from taking full advantage of video marketing. You absolutely have to commit to making this a non-issue for you. Okay, this is a decision that Josh and I made a handful of months ago, where we said, we know that we need to be creating more video, and yet there's these kind of silly little things that are preventing us from creating as much video as we should. Like what? Well, simple things like, literally, and this may seem, it seems kind of silly, but it's a very real thing, is that our lighting system that we had in our office was so big and bulky that we didn't feel that we could leave it up all the time. And so you'd have to tear down the lighting system, put up the lighting system and tear down the lighting system every time you were going to create a video. And just doing that means that you create less videos than you should, right? Because it's a pain in the ass to go and get out all the light system and set it up again and tear it down and put it away again every time that you want to create a video. So what that does is that just creates a little bit of friction in the process and slows you down. I have absolutely no problems being a talking head in front of a camera. A lot of people do. That's their, a really intimidating thing for them. And so that stops them. They may have gone out and bought all the best lighting systems and cameras and microphones and all that type of stuff, and they have it set up all perfectly ready to go, and they haven't produced a video in months because they're sitting in front of that camera, scared to death, or won't even get in front of the camera because they're so scared to death and intimidated by it. Or they've done that. They've recorded 100 minutes of video, but they've been editing it for 3 months to try and get it just right before they're actually, put it up on the web, right, where people can see it. There's that perfectionism and that intimidation of, oh my gosh, I'm going to put a video out there and have people judge me. Whatever it is for you, You've got to get past that. You've got to make these things a non-issue. Whether or not that's getting the right tools, putting the right processes in place, having somebody else create the videos for you, taking a course at the local community college to develop your speaking skills, joining Toastmasters, whatever it is, you've got to get past those bottlenecks so that you are comfortable creating content quickly, creating video quickly, and getting it out the door. And I think that's something really, really important is you got to be able to get it done quickly and get it out the door. The expectation is moving more and more towards content that's informal. It doesn't have to be super professionally produced. It doesn't have to look like a Hollywood movie. Because people are getting more and more used to just seeing, regular people creating content, creating video, and putting it up on Facebook and putting it up on YouTube, and people are okay with content being pretty informal. Now, certainly in some cases, depending on your business and what the content, what the video is for, sometimes you want to polish that up, absolutely. But other times, you just create that quick talking head video and get that sucker out the door, and it's totally fine. But you've got to make sure that you invest in the tools, the processes, the outsourcers, whatever it takes to make these roadblocks a non-issue for you. Okay, so in the content creation modules of the program here, we've already shared with you a bunch of our favorite just kind of, little process hacks and little tools and things that we've figured out to make this easy for us. I mean, the very real scenario for me was that the time that it took to take my video, which was already shot, I shot my video on my camera, but to take that video, export it to my computer, import it into my video editing software, do the editing, export the file as the right type, and then load it up to our video hosting, that was taking me 3 or 4 times as long as it was to actually shoot the video itself. And it was very, very frustrating for me, very time-consuming for me. And so ultimately what happened is that I would produce less video because I'd be sitting there thinking, whatever I was going to say in that video, I can just type out an email real fast and get the damn thing out the door. But an email, typed up email is just not as engaging as a video. So we realized, hey, okay, what are these roadblocks? All right, well, we got a lighting kit that we need to replace. So we bought, those new lights that I showed you in our content creation videos. That is nice LED lights, easy to turn on and off, don't take up much space. We just have those set up in our office now all the time. And then I committed to, okay, I'm going to figure out how to do this editing process in a way that won't take so much dang time. And the solution for me was my iPhone. I realized a couple of things. One, if I went out and got the bigger iPhone, the video quality and the audio quality would be much, much better. So that right there means I'm going to produce more videos because I'm going to be happier with the quality. And then number two, with that bigger screen on the iPhone 6 Plus, it was very easy for me to sit down, open up iMovie, and do my complete editing process for, say, 95% of my videos. I can now do the complete editing process right there in iMovie on my phone and export that video straight to Wistia where we host our videos. And the time efficiency gained from that has been absolutely huge. I mean, I've literally cut my video editing time down by 3/4 probably, which just means I'm creating more video. I'm more comfortable with it. It's easier for me. It's actually kind of fun. It's kind of amazing to me that I can just be running around with my camera wherever I'm at and produce, very high quality professional videos. So that's an example. And whatever, you're going to have whatever roadblocks you're going to have. Okay. For some of you, it's the intimidation factor of being in front of a camera. Okay. Maybe that means you don't do videos where you're in front of the camera to start. Maybe you only do screen shares. Maybe you do presentation slides. Maybe you hire somebody to be a talking head for you. You can get people on Fiverr that's what they do for a living. Maybe it's that you need to go and take that Toastmasters program so that you feel more confident with your speaking. Whatever it is, you've got to figure that out. Maybe it is more of a content and editing process, production and editing process, like was the case for me, where it's really just a matter of, okay, figuring out the right tools and the right processes to make this easy on you. So again, whatever that is, you've got to figure that out because you've got to be efficient at producing video. Okay? You've got to be efficient at producing video. If you're not, and I would say even, and depending on what business you're in, even prolific at creating video so that you're just getting more video out the door. Okay, those of you who are Gary Vee fans, we've become huge Gary Vee fans, and one of the things that he talks about is just getting stuff out the door on a very regular basis, right? You see him, he is constantly producing new content and constantly putting it out there to build his audience and nurture his audience and share his core messages with that audience. And some of those videos miss the mark, and he knows that, and he's okay with that. He's not expecting perfection from each piece of content, but he knows that by making it up in volume, some of them are going to be big wins. Some of them are going to be grand slams that he's then able to promote that content over and over again for years to come and build this massive, very successful personal brand that he's building and translating that into a very successful company as well in the form of VaynerMedia, his agency. So you've got to be, maybe not in all businesses you necessarily have to be like truly prolific, creating videos every single day, but I would suggest that in most cases you probably need to be creating more video than maybe, you're initially expecting. Okay, so whatever it is that you had in your mind, I'm going to create a video every month or whatever it is, it's probably going to be more than that, and you need to make sure that you have the systems and processes set up to be able to do that. Okay, so Gary Vee, speaking of, this is one of the posts from him. This is 3 years ago, but one of the posts that has been super, super impactful for his career, and it was one of the posts that really turned me on to Gary and really understanding his message, where he said, hey, look, whether you like it or not, you're now a media company. Okay, and he said every person is now a media company, and that's true if you want to be. Okay, as a person, as an individual, you don't have to be as prolific at creating media as he is, but you can be. And that's the incredible thing, is that every single individual now with a camera in their pocket can literally be a live TV channel on Facebook anytime that they want to. And they'll soon be able to on YouTube and Amazon and many other forms. So the fact that they can be is incredibly powerful, and you as a business have to be. Okay, and that's what he's saying here, really. Whether you like it or not, you as a business has to be, right? He said producing content is now the baseline for all brands and companies. It literally doesn't matter what business you're in, what industry you operate in. If you're not producing content, you basically don't exist. Okay? Now, he says that in good old Gary Vee fashion, where he uses the extreme, version of, hey, you don't even exist if you're not producing content. But there is a lot of truth to it. Okay? Your competitors are producing content, and they're darn good at it, and they're going to beat you if you don't have a strategy for this. Okay? So I just want to make sure I'm hammering this into your heads as much as possible. I know most of you get it, but maybe some of you need to raise your expectations a little bit around this, and maybe need to give yourself a kick in the pants in terms of committing to, again, putting the right tools and processes in place to turn yourself into that media company in whatever kind of form and volume that is. All right. I'm going to hand it over to Josh now. He's going to talk about setting up and optimizing your YouTube channel and talking about video ranking. So what we wanted to do here right away, in addition to just creating video and giving you strategies for that, we also wanted to give you strategies to start putting that content to use right away. Okay, and one of the most obvious ways to put that content to use right away is YouTube channels and using video to get ranking and start getting traffic from the search engines. And then very quickly here, we're going to start talking to you about how to do video advertising on Facebook and YouTube as well to really, really blow up your traffic that you're getting from your videos here really, really quickly, and use them for selling products, use them for building retargeting audiences, use them for nurturing your audiences. So we'll dive into that here in our content very quickly. So on that note, I'm going to hand it over to Josh. He's going to take you through YouTube and video ranking and all that good stuff, and then we'll open it up for Q&A and answer any questions that you have.
No, you can pass over the control, it'll be fine. I got Safari working. Hold on a second here, gang. We're just passing the screen share. Show my screen. Yes. Main screen. Show. Let me know if you can see my screen now. Can you see my screen? I will do that. Almost stiff. Cool. Let me jump into presenter mode on the slides. And I'm going to actually jump in and out of the slides as we go. And when I jump out of the slides, we'll probably head on over to some Google searches to see videos showing up and kind of look at some real examples of what we're talking about. And I'll also jump into the Growth Insiders area, because all of this is getting built out in Growth Insiders. So I don't want to spend your time today going through things where there's a specific video that goes in depth on it in the membership area. I'll kind of point you at that. And I want to make sure as I'm going that just raise your hand and throw any questions in the question box as they come up. And we'll hit those as appropriate, and then we'll do some Q&A at the end here. So as Mike said, once you get into creating video, the next question is what do you do with that video? And there's all sorts of things to do with the video. But one of the easy ways to get your videos seen out there is getting them up on a YouTube channel and getting them ranked, both in YouTube and in Google search. So we're going to spend some time today talking about getting your Google channel set up, your YouTube channel set up, and then we're going to go in depth on kind of the quick and dirty and getting a video to rank. All right, so getting your YouTube channel set up, and just a big note here, right? We're not teaching black hat tricks. A lot of conversation goes into creating fake accounts and creating different accounts for different things. What we are doing is using these things for real businesses and teaching kind of how you would use them for real businesses. Certainly there are test accounts we've set up and things I'll show you in test accounts and stuff like that, but even test accounts without being black hat tend to get banned. Google is not dumb. They know when people are not doing things that is real content and adds real value to the community. So be careful with those things. So setting up your YouTube account, use a real Gmail account. And some of this stuff is going to sound like common sense, but it's worth saying, right? So use a real Gmail account. Don't go set up a Gmail account that's fake and with a fake profile, our opinion. And if you're using use a business account. Set it up for the business that you're doing these videos for, the brand that you're doing these videos for, and try not to use like help ad or support ad or info ad, those type of email addresses. Really what you want to do is have your main account be a real Gmail account that has real things happening out of it, right? And so the question I get asked all the time is, what's a real Gmail account look like? And the answer is, well, your account. And that's never a good enough answer, because all of us are guilty of not setting up our Gmail profiles or our Facebook profiles the way they're supposed to be. And you really need to go in and do those things. So, if I think about my Gmail account, I'm subscribed to a bunch of newsletters. I've got activity in and out of my email account every day. I've got activity on the calendar all the time. I've got repeating events. I've got non-repeating events. I'm utilizing Google Docs. This last one is a stretch, right? I'd argue that to be a fully built-out Gmail account, you should have your Google Plus profile filled in. It's amazing to me that Google Plus isn't dead yet. I mean, Google has actually said they're going to kill it, but it still exists, and it's still an indicator to them of a profile being fully utilized. So you're going to want to get that set up for whatever your main account is, where you're going to be ranking your videos. And again, there's some videos on this stuff in the training area that will take you through the click here, click there type of stuff. So the other thing you're going to want to do with your real Gmail account is follow people in the same industry that you're creating videos in, people that your prospects would be following. And if you can find 30 to 40 brands or people in that area, that's ideal. You want to go out and follow those people, and hopefully some of them will start to follow you back. So once you've got your account you're going to use, then you've got to get your YouTube set up. And so there's a few key takeaways that you're going to want to do in your YouTube channel. And number one is figuring out what your primary keyword is and using it in the name of your channel. You don't want to keyword stuff the name of your channel, but you want to make sure the primary keyword that you want to be known for is in that name. You want to take advantage of the profile and cover photo options and make sure that they fit your market. So if you watch the video in Growth Insiders, you'll see me set up from scratch a essential oils brand YouTube channel, and make sure that the cover photo and the profile photo match that brand in that market and will make sense to those users that I'm going after. Again, thinking about this stuff as a real business, not just setting up an account to rank videos, kind of black hat. And then you're going to want to optimize your channel description with keywords. And I go into that in the video, but I'm also just going to jump out of the slides here real quick and take you over to our channel description that I go through in the videos in the training area. And essentially in your channel description, you are going to want to be keyword heavy through here, and you're going to want to have your primary keywords as well as your secondary keywords loaded into your channel description, because this really tells Google what your channel is about and the type of things that to show your channel for. You do want to make sure this reads naturally. This was done quickly, so this is not the world's most perfect channel description, but this gives you a sense of a good channel description, right? You start with your brand and what you're about and why people would come here, right? What are they going to get if they subscribe to your channel? And then you can see me start getting into kind of loading with keywords, right? Essential oils for massage, essential oils for weight loss, essential oils for diffusers. And how do I do that? I don't just list them. I use natural language, natural description to say, we're going to discuss these things, right? We're going to discuss, and then I list them out. And that's a natural way of getting a list into a description. The other thing you see me do in here is list competitive brands, right? And so what I've done is look at the two big guys in the industry and say, all right, when somebody's searching for one of these brands, I would love for my channel to come up as an associated channel. So I'm telling Google that somehow I'm talking about these brands as well. I'm also telling users that there's a huge user base for essential oils in these two brands. So I'm telling them that if they subscribe to my channel, I'm going to be talking about these things. I'm going to help them understand the qualities and the language and the certifications and all those type of things. And then I get into, again, I'm talking to the end user who's thinking about subscribing to my channel here. I'm also going to share success stories of people just like them. And then I get into a little bit of listing of keywords again, right? Using essential oils for. And then these are all common search terms and keywords that I want to rank my channel for and I'm going to want to rank my videos for. So that's kind of the process of going through and getting a description dialed in. And there is a character limit. I don't know what it is offhand. I think it's 250 characters. I don't know. But paste it. This is just about the max. So paste it into your description and Google will give you the exact limit there. But getting that description done properly and getting the title of your channel done properly is the start of everything in getting subscribers to your channel and growing a healthy channel over time. Now, can you rank a video without doing any of that stuff? Absolutely. You can rank a video by throwing up a profile picture, a cover art, doing some doing some kind of black hat sharing of that profile, and then following the video ranking process. But if you're building for the long term, these are the best practices that you're going to want to follow. So then the next step, once you've got the basics of your channel set up, you're going to want to dig into getting your links all loaded into that channel. And that's your website, your Facebook page, your Pinterest page, any other pages you have. You should have, depending on your brand, every brand should have a website and a Facebook page. And then depending on which marketing channels are best for you, you're going to want to take advantage of Pinterest or any of the others out there. And right in your channel, you can link those all in. And again, these are all signals to Google that you're real, that you're not just black hat trying to rank videos. Use a business domain for your email, Gmail for Business. If you Google Gmail for Business, super easy to set up. It just looks more professional than your brand, your name at or your brand at gmail.com. And then the last thing on optimizing your channel, and there's a step-by-step video on this in the training area as well, but you want to link and verify your website. So there's a difference. The first one is putting your website link onto the channel itself, so when somebody's looking at your channel, they can click the website button. The second is linking on the back end of your account, linking your website to your channel and verifying it. You're going to want to go through that process because as you get more sophisticated with your videos and annotations, that allows you to do what they call external linking, where if you're watching a video, you've probably seen this before if you watch YouTube videos, where you're watching a video and you can click on something that then takes you off of YouTube and lands you somewhere else, right? In our case, we may take you to a landing page for an opt-in, we may take you to our website for a purchase, or just to informational pages. So very important to get that set up and running. So that's the basics of ranking your YouTube channel. Not particularly complicated. Again, there's step-by-step videos in the training, but all stuff you're going to want to go through. And all the first time you go through it, it's all just, where do I click again? And where's that button? It's just not as intuitive as you think. And then once that's done, you're going to want to dig into the video ranking process. So going through the video ranking process, there's kind of some key things to do here. And there's really like 6 things, right? So you do your keyword research, you pick smart long tail and broad keywords. You create your video, you optimize your video, you load your video into your already optimized YouTube channel, you build a few links and social bookmarks, your blog embeds and social shares, and even this step, if you've gone real long tail with your keywords, you don't need to do this step. You'll still get rankings ahead of this, but doing a couple of these over the course of the first few days is good practice. And then you're going to wait and check your rankings. And we always say wait 3 to 5 days. If you go long tail keyword and you've optimized your channel and you've optimized your video the way I'm going to show you, we've seen videos rank on page 1 of Google search in as fast as 7 minutes. I mean, it's crazy to me. People will spend months and months and months getting content and articles to rank on page 1, and all of a sudden I'll have a video showing up on the first page of Google. And I'll actually get into showing you. Let me see here. I'm going to jump out of these slides real quick. So there was, if you're in local, we did some examples. We actually did them a couple years ago. I actually took a look for this right before the call, and I was amazed to see. And this is a long tail phrase, right? Genie Garage Door Repair Service Point Loma. And when you search for that in Google right now, you see this video right here. This is a video that we ranked using the exact process I'm about to walk you through without optimizing the YouTube channel. And it still comes up number 1 on Google on the rankings. And this is the terms that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people paying to advertise for. And I'm ahead of Yelp, and I've got PointLomaGarageDoors.com. I've got people doing smart SEO trying to be ahead of me. This is a video that we put up, 2014, 2 years ago, as a demonstration, ranked it. And this is why we say don't use black hat techniques, right? Ranked it with a fake demo account just to show we could rank a video. The account got banned, and the video still shows up because we just did the basics, the very good basics of optimizing your video. So I show you that just to show you the power of what we're going through here. So that you really get dialed in on this process. And that was the other thing, too. We always like to give credit on where we're learning stuff. When we did that, everything we learned in that process, ranking those, we learned from Joe Troyer and Ben Pate. They're fantastic at doing these things. I just want to make sure you give credit where credit's due here. So video keywords. Let's talk about what video keywords are. Because people say, all right, I'm going to go rank for keywords. Keywords, simply, it's just keywords that have results in Google for videos or on YouTube for videos. And so you want to make sure that you're targeting video keywords. And so simple way to do that, again, I'm going to jump out of the slides here real quick, jump into Safari. And again, hit me with questions as we go if you guys have questions or if there's things you want me to dig more into. But video keywords, right? I mean, it's as easy as everybody gets hung up on keyword research, but really an easy way to know is open up YouTube and start typing. So essential oils. If I type that in and nothing showed up, then I would know that there's no video keywords happening for that. Another way to do it is to plug it into a Google search. And if nothing comes up for videos for that term, then you know that you're after something that isn't a video keyword. So be cognizant of video keywords versus normal keywords. Still use the Google Keyword Planner tool. There's other free tools out there for YouTube keyword planning. Use those tools if you're comfortable with keywords, but at the very least, make sure you've done those type of searches. Type of keywords that typically have videos and type of words to add to keyword phrases that make it easier to rank are tutorials, how-to, fitness, sports, reviews, words like that, right? So if you think again about my essential oils brand, essential oils by itself is going to be a competitive keyword to rank for. Essential oils tutorial is going to be easier. Online essential oils tutorial is still going to have some search volume, going to be much less competitive because it's a long tail keyword phrase that people are looking at, right? So let's talk about that idea of long tail versus broad keywords, and that's exactly right. So that example I just showed you of Genie Garage Door Repair Point Loma is a great long tail keyword. And if you're in local, it's actually a great example, right? Because there's just under 100,000 people in the Point Loma area, and that's just outside of San Diego. So there's search volume there, but it's much less competitive than if I tried to rank for Garage Door Repair San Diego. Now, can I get Garage Door Repair San Diego done? Yeah, it's just going to take me more time and more effort than to rank for Garage Door Repair Point Loma and then work in my broad term over time. So super long tail, and there's a balance to everything, right? Super long tail is really easy to rank for. And we should probably do a whole, get on a call and see if we could rank a video, during the course of a call, because I bet we can. And the way that we would do that, right, is we would rank for a super long tail, because it's not going to take long for Google to index it and start showing it. Now, that's cool if you are in local or you do client work with video, even if they're not local, physical products, anything. Because what you can do is do results in advance. You can very easily rank a video for best online pet store Del Mar, or best pet store Del Mar, whatever the keyword is, and then go down to that pet store and say, hey, look, I've already got a video on page 1. You can have it if you want it. So this whole idea of long tail versus broad is important to start to wrap your brain around. Now, where you start to get too long tail is when there's no search volume for it. That's great. You can rank for a term, but if nobody ever searches for any of the words in it or that term, then you've got a problem, right? So you don't want to be too long term. You don't want to be long tail. You don't want to be too broad. You want to do your best to kind of land in the middle or a little bit more towards the long tail side of things. Another example of long tail versus broad, best 24-hour San Diego food delivery service. I certainly could see people searching for that, and I bet if we go check, there's searches for that. probably a whole heck of a lot more for San Diego food delivery. But again, it's going to take me a lot longer and a lot more tactics to get my broad term ranked. So the way I would do it is I would go out and start with my long tail and then work in my broad phrases over time. So get started ranking with the long tail and then work in the more competitive terms at the same time in your tags for your videos, and then you'll start to rank for those over time. So let's talk about the video name. It sounds silly, but it tells Google when you upload your video what your video is about. So in the example for Genie Garage Door Repair Point Loma, rather than naming my video, video 3.mp4, I actually name it best dash, you can see the name right there, right? Best dash Genie dash Garage Door Point Loma .mp4, kind of runs off the other side there. And that alone, before you've done anything with your video, optimizing it once it's uploaded, tells Google what you're looking for in terms of visitors and results for searches. Your video title. The first 55 characters are seen in the YouTube search or the Google search. So what you want to do is get your call to action and your main keywords right up front in those first 55 characters if you can. It forces you to be creative in the way you write your copy, and obviously you want to have it read naturally, but you don't want to be flowery with your words and sentences because you're going to eat up that 55 characters fast. If you're doing something that has a phone number, ideally you've got the phone number in your title or in your first 55 characters as well. You want to have your call to action and main keywords right up there. And then you want to do your titles like a headline, right? You want to grab attention. There are a billion videos out there. And so what you want to do is use your keywords and grab attention and look at how headlines are written, right? Good sales copy headlines that get somebody to click and open and watch the relevant content. Again, don't use tricks, right? Don't use tricks just to get people to click the video when the content isn't at all what they're expecting. You want there to be continuity because when they get to the video, you're going to want them to watch it. How long they watch through is going to be a primary factor for Google as well. But you want to write good copy and good headlines to grab the attention of the right audience to get them to watch your video. And then work in the primary and secondary keyword phrases as much as you can as well. Don't repeat keywords. That's another thing I see people doing all the time is, again, Google's smart, guys. And the reason you always hear about Google slaps and all that type of stuff is because what they're looking for is real value, right? They want to serve real value to the person looking for your information. So do things that make sense. Don't do keyword stuffing. Make sure you use every character available. Don't add unrelated keywords just to get your video showing up because, again, I can trick people all day long. I can trick the system to get a video to show up, and I can trick someone to click on it. But ultimately, I can't trick someone to stay and watch my whole crummy video that doesn't correlate to what they were looking for in the first place, right? So sooner or later, you're going to get caught there. And then make sure your title makes sense to read. You'd be amazed how many titles I see that don't read as if it's something. It's just a bunch of keywords kind of put together with a phone number or a call to action. So getting into then, once you've named your video, so this is all after you've uploaded it, right? So you name the file, you've uploaded it, you've created your title, you've done your description and put as many keywords into your description as you can. Now you're going to look at your tags and the category to put your video into. The tags are different for Google. They want you to load as many tags in there as you can. So limit how many tags you can fit, but you're going to want to start with all of your long tail, and this is where you're going to start working in your broad keywords so that you can start ranking for them over time. The other thing you can do with tags is, in my channel description, I talked about those brands, doTERRA and Young Living. So let's say that they have a real hot YouTube channel that has lots of visitors to it. What I can do in my tags is tag their channel name. And so now when Google is showing things related to their content, Google will also show me as a related channel as long as my content is appropriate and is being well consumed by those same viewers. So that's kind of a good trick for tags or a good kind of ninja tip for tags. I'm going to check for questions, just make sure I'm not blowing by any questions here. Yep, looks good on questions. Cool. All right. And then category. The other question is, what category should you put your videos in? And the answer is go look at and see what's working. If there's people ranking in education for essential oils, I'm going to put my videos into education. If there's people ranking in health and fitness for essential oils, I'm going to put my videos into health and fitness. I'm going to do what's working, right? I'm not going to try and be too clever or try and outsmart the system. I'm going to go use good, solid fundamentals for my channel, for my content, for my optimizations, for my titles, for my tags, for my keywords, and I'm going to go compete right in those exact same categories. So your video description, the video description is really where you want to get robust. And the more robust the description, the better. Google is looking at the description to try and pull out as much information about what your particular video is about as they possibly can. Some general rules to follow. You want 1 to 2 keywords per 100 words in your description. And I shouldn't say you want 1 to 2. I'd say don't have more than 1 to 2 per 100 words. And again, have it make sense. And then take advantage of listed keywords at the bottom of your description, right? So write a good description real naturally, and you can go look at some YouTube examples, right? The good ranking videos, you'll see a really good natural description with keywords sprinkled throughout it. You'll then see kind of links to websites and their calls to actions taking you off of the page. And then, the real good ones, what you'll see at the end are something like what I showed you in something like what I showed you in my channel description, where it's in this video, we're also discussing these other oils, and I list out 15 other oils that I want to be able to rank the video for. So this in the description, don't be afraid to get loaded up towards the bottom of your description. So then the next thing that's super important with your videos over time, you can rank a Chromium video fast, and it'll fall out fast if people don't watch it. So the watch time of your video is important. So what you're going to want to do is make sure you're creating quality content that keeps users engaged. And this goes back to the easy ways to get your content created that Mike talked about earlier. You want to be prolific at creating content, but you want to make sure also that it's real good quality content and that you're engaging users throughout that video. And I forget the stat, but it's something like the first 15 seconds of a video, you either grab the user or you don't. So pay attention to the beginning of your videos. Make sure you're grabbing people and pulling them in. Annotations, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on annotations today, but we'll do some training in the members area. But there's all sorts of stuff in YouTube where you can go into your video editor and you can add in annotations. You can have pop-ups asking questions. You can have pop-ups telling them to click here to link off to something. If you can have text on the bottom of the video, kind of like the closed caption text, which is another great a great thing to add in. So make sure you're using your annotations and use those annotations to link out to your other related videos, right? So you start to build a web of videos on your YouTube channel that are all linking to each other, and you can go into your analytics for your videos, especially for your really good ranking videos, and YouTube will tell you where people drop off. So if people are dropping off, you've got a 90-second video, and most people are dropping off around the 60-second mark, well then around 55 seconds, pop up something that says, hey, for this other related video, click here. Again, thinking about a good headline to grab their attention that could pull them off to a different video that's yours and keep them within your web of content. So you start to get really slick in your strategies for your YouTube content and your playlists and your videos and getting people to stay with your content over time. So then, and I think I said this already, right? The users watching the video longer matters. That's why if you're watching your own videos, don't ever just watch it for 2 seconds and click away. Watch all the way through. And it matters. Every time that video opens, YouTube knows where somebody drops off. And that tells them, what does that tell them? It tells them just like the bounce rate on a web page, right? If somebody comes to your web page and closes immediately because it's junk, it tells them that somebody, for the keyword that brought somebody there, they weren't interested, so they closed it. And that's not what you want to have happen. Even if you're logged into your own administrator and doing your own thing, YouTube isn't discerning it. They're just watching the watch time on your videos. Subscribers, comments, and shares. So in your videos, you want as many subscribers, comments, and shares as possible on your YouTube channel. It's still completely possible to rank for your videos without subscribers, comments, and shares, especially on the Google search side of things. But on the YouTube side of things, the more of these things you have, the better. So what's the easy way to get them? Ask for them. You'd be amazed what people do when you ask. And you want to ask everywhere. You want to ask in the video. You want to ask with the annotations, the pop-ups that you can put on there in the description. You want to tell people if they like this, share it, or if they know other people that would benefit from this content, share it. You can figure out, again, make sure you're using good, concise copy to get people to take action. In your comments, you can ask people to share it. If you have an email list, you can email out to your list telling them you've created this content and asking them to share it. So again, it's all about asking. You should be asking everywhere that you can to get people to do those things on your video. So then, talking about just kind of some tips and tricks here for optimizing your videos on their rankings. Once you've gone through, you've optimized your channel, you've named your video file, you've optimized your title for your main keywords, you've optimized your tags, you've optimized your description, you've got everything locked and loaded and ready to go. You can do some of these things to kind of kick off the ranking process, if you will. View your own video all the way through on desktop, mobile, and tablet. 3 views right away, all the way through. Again, it tells Google that it's good content. This is kind of a ninja trick. If you take your video link, the naked URL from YouTube, and you put it into the Google Keyword Planner, that forces Google to go out and look at it to give you an idea of what keywords there are, but more importantly, it speeds up their indexing to the best of our knowledge. Whenever I talk about Google, I always say to the best of our knowledge, because nobody knows really what the hell goes on behind the scenes with Google. But it's a good trick to do. It doesn't take more than a minute, and it's worth it if it's working. Share your video, so actually share it on your brand's social media sites. Push it to Facebook, push it to Twitter, push it to Pinterest, push it to wherever you have social sites, and then put it on your blog or your website. And that's your embed code. You want to actually embed the video there. Because again, these are all signals to Google telling them that this video is valued outside of someone having just uploaded it to YouTube. Some other things to think about as you get get your videos uploaded and get going in your content creation, using multiple videos to target the same keywords so that you can really own the keyword. Also so that you can get rankings done. Sometimes one video will rank better than the other because it plays better, it grabs attention better, who knows. It's kind of back to the point that Mike was making of volume versus perfection. Manage your comments and engage. And this sounds like a silly one if you're building a real business and brand, but we talk about it all the time. Being out there in your comments, and this goes for everything, but specific to video for this conversation, but being out there in your comments, engaging with your community and your customers, answering their questions, letting them know you're real, letting them know what your story is, all that type of stuff, just increases the social proof, which increases the sharing, which increases the engagement, which creates that flywheel effect. So as common sense as it may seem, don't think about answering comments as something that's robotic or something that you have to pay a $3 an admin to do with cut and paste answers. Think about it as your opportunity to represent your brand and your business out in your community directly, and use it as an opportunity. So another tip and trick, and we're not going to get into this today, but using live events and hangouts for competitive rankings. Again, this is to the best of our knowledge. Nobody knows. But anecdotally, what Google is showing people is that they want hangouts to be used and they want their live events to be used. So simulating those things, either by playing your video through those mediums and then putting it up as a live event or hangout, or just by running a live event or hangout to capture your video, should help when you're going for competitive keywords. Not as important when you're on the broad side of things. I'd say just get your video up and optimized and ranked. But think about this as a future strategy, especially as you start layering in multiple videos to target competitive keywords and the same competitive keywords. And then the last thing is more of a don't than a do. Don't blast your video with links. And this has been the practice for years, and it's still practiced by a lot of people, where they'll put their video up somewhere and just start blasting it with links out to every darn Web 2.0 site and social site there is under the sun. Again, Google isn't dumb. You may get a short-term result, but you're not going to get long-term sustainability. The long-term sustainability that you want for your business and your brand. So don't blast things with links. So if you've done all of these things, the ranking results that you should get, and again, we've seen videos rank as fast as 7 minutes. That garage door repair video that I just showed you ranked in 7 minutes when we were running that example. I'll show you actually the video. I didn't even mean to rank it. I put up a video to demonstrate in the training how to create a trailer video for your channel. And then after I put it up, I thought, I should just do the optimization process. And then 45 minutes later, I was like, I wonder if that ranked. And I went and looked, and it was ranked. So follow these steps, and you should get your result. Long tail is the place to start, but make sure you work in your broad keywords, and you'll start getting ranking for those over time. Your broad keywords will take more upkeep over time, but that's not incredibly difficult. And then after the 3 to 5 days, if you're still not ranking because you have a real competitive term, 2 things. One, there's all sorts of advanced steps you can take, but they're not secret, right? This is getting into syndicating to Web 2.0 sites, finding real good quality Web 2.0 sites and getting out there, those type of things. But even before you go to that step, I'd say look at the terms you're trying to rank for. Were you broad enough? Are you too competitive? Is your video, where's the drop-off time in your video? Are you getting views? Have you gotten people there to actually see the video through other means so that they can so that Google can start to see people watching the content and seeing value in the content. So that's the process. Next, we're going to jump into questions. And actually, I'm going to jump out of these slides real quick, and I'm going to jump over to the Growth Insiders membership. So in the setting up YouTube under the 30 days of videos, if you're in Growth Insiders, you should see everything here but sales. Please don't rate support so you don't see sales yet. We're finishing building that out, and that'll be available soon. But in the 30 days of video, everything I went through for setting up YouTube has kind of click-by-click instructions in here. And then I've given you some examples of good trailers for your channel. So trailers for your channel are really all about telling subscribers what your channel is about, right? Why would you subscribe here? Why do you want to watch my stuff? Those type of things. So I went out and found a good trailer, and this gal does a nice job of hitting all of the elements in a trailer that you would want to hit, right? You want to assume that the person's never heard of you. You want it to be a nice, short, succinct summary of why they would want to subscribe to you and what they're going to get if they do subscribe, on what frequency. Again, you want to hook your viewer. You want to be compelling. This gal's compelling with her purple hair and just kind of natural talking head style. Be authentic and ask viewers to subscribe in the video. So again, using the annotations. If you come in and play this, you'll see the annotations she's using. And then I thought, all right, well, we've just set up a channel as an example for the training. How can I get a trailer done? That's easy, because we want to make everything easy. So I found this site, Biteable, which I've never used before and was super, super easy. That you can do a free trailer just like this. For free, as long as you don't mind their watermark on it. I think they've got reasonable plans if you want to get rid of the watermark. But you can come in here and play this. It's a 45-second video. That's now the trailer for our essential oils channel that basically just tells people what they're going to get, right? Tips, recipes, techniques, reviews that they can trust. And there's about 10 slides that this takes you through. Let's see if I play a second of it here. It's like 10 slides that this takes you through. Mike's going to hate this because I didn't do any good content on it, but I just wanted to prove that you could get a quick trailer up. But, this is a nice, easy channel trailer until you've got something more dialed in going, right? And that's the philosophy here. Take massive action and continue to dial it in and make it better and better over time. So then the other thing I did was in our actual channel, I went into the video, and this was after, again, I broke this process. I didn't even follow the process I just outlined because all I was thinking was to show how to get a trailer done. So I didn't name the file right. I didn't do a bunch of things. And then I came in here, slapped our tags on it that I wanted to try and rank for, put a description on the video itself, and then I looked for this when we were about to start the call. I just put in online essential reviews and recipes. This is broad, right? This is not getting a billion searches a month, but there are certainly, how I know right away without needing to go and do any keyword research whether it's getting volume, is I've got 4 people advertising for it. So I've got 4 people paying to show up for those terms, right? And these are brands that I know in our industry: Miracle, Eden's Garden, Rocky Mountain, Bulk Apothecary. These are kind of the big dogs in the industry. I also know a lot of these blogs that are around the web, and these guys are spending a lot of time optimizing real good high quality content to show up here. And now look at this, all of a sudden I'm here, spot 3 if somebody's looking for these terms, and I'll start to pick up for other terms, other broader terms if I continue to follow the process. This was just the quick and dirty to see if it would rank. So that's pretty darn compelling in terms of how easy this process is to get things showing up on Google. I mean, I did it wrong and it still worked pretty darn well. And then the other thing to look at, right, is if you were a consumer searching for this phrase, what grabs your attention here? The video grabs your attention, right? Because immediately you go, oh, I can watch a 42-second video on what I was looking for. And you can see here, I've got my website, I've got my phone number, and I've got my key headline grabber here, right? If you're looking for where you can buy 100% pure essential oils, this is all showing up before the user ever has to click on anything. And I'm not going to click on it because if I click on it, I should watch it all the way through, and I don't want to have to put you through that. So let's see here. So that's YouTube. That's the Genie example. And the Genie example is a great one too, especially if you're doing anything local. I mean, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 big dog advertisers trying to win that long tail phrase. And I've got Yelp. I mean, I'm showing up ahead of Yelp. SoCal Garage Doors. I mean, I'm showing up ahead of Yellow Pages. And this was, I followed the process on this one. I named my file right. I did everything right. But this was 2 years ago. I mean, this is crazy that this video is still showing up. But the reason for it is it's a good, compelling video, right? I went to Fiverr and I hired this gal to do a 53-second script on reviewing my my garage door repair service guys, and it's when people find it, they actually watch it, and so it's maintained its rankings over time. So that's our process, kind of strategy on video, why you should be using it, how to get videos done easier, and then specifically looking at YouTube, getting your channel up and running, getting your channel optimized, and really starting to get after getting content out there. So with all that, I guess let's open it up for any questions that are out there.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Josh. And I want to stress to everybody what Josh said. It's most important is just taking action on this stuff. If you do not have a YouTube channel for your business, if you don't have video content created yet, things like that, now's the time to start somewhere, right? So if you've got some videos but you don't have a YouTube channel, don't have them put them up there, then that's your starting point. If you don't have any videos yet, take one of the content creation modules and go through and just get some videos put together. Just pick one and get something put together so that you can start this process. And then, as I said earlier, we're going to show you various strategies for getting more traffic and putting these videos to more and more use here in your marketing plan. But start with YouTube and start with Google search, because that is one of the biggest and most obvious ways to pick up traffic, and oftentimes really interested buyer traffic to your business or to your client's business, is just by soaking up some of that search engine traffic. And video is a proven way to do that. That is getting prioritized in the search engines. Like Josh just showed you, here he is outranking Yelp and some of these other sites that are massive sites just by putting together one quick video and following this very simple ranking process that he then has not touched in 2 years. So, wherever you are, take action so that you can start getting some of the benefit of these strategies and techniques. And we will move on here pretty quickly to Facebook ads, YouTube ads, other paid ways of getting traffic as well. But what Josh just showed you is one of the best ways to start getting traffic without having to really put money behind it. Let's just put the video up there and put it to use without having to invest money in paid advertising, which I know for a lot of people that's a big concern. So great way to start getting momentum with these videos and starting getting some traffic. So if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in. We're happy to answer whatever questions you have. And if not, we will let you get back to your day here. But if you got questions, go ahead and type them in. We'll hang out here for a couple minutes while you do that. We'll have more content coming to you very shortly here inside of the membership area, so keep your eyes out for that. And, of course, we'll shoot you updates in the Facebook group and via email to let you know when that happens. And we have, hopefully you got signed up. Well, you did get signed up. If you signed up for this call, you signed up for a series of calls for the group here that will be every other week, this time each week. And so we'll plan on seeing you in the next call here in 2 weeks. All right, I don't see any questions. Josh, do you have anything else to add before we wrap it up?
Unmute. Nope. I think take action. I think everything you just summarized with is the right thing. And ping us, leverage us in the Facebook group. We're here to help.
Yep, cool. All right, guys, everybody have